three-part mantra that really does a terrific job guiding the activities of the Chamber. Advocate, connect, and grow. The Chamber advocates for members with one another and within the community outside the Chamber. They connect the Chamber members with one another and give multiple opportunities for each Chamber member and members of their organization to grow. One of the greatest assets of the Chamber is the ability to partner with other local initiatives to benefit our community. The Chamber is so excited to be a partner on the Duncan Heart and Soul Project. This initiative is for everyone who lives, works, and plays in Duncan and is under the leadership of Project Coordinator Mike Pond and the core team. I've only known Mike for a couple of years, and I threw a joke at him a little bit earlier, and he loved it. Best thing ever. But it feels like all of my life. Mike truly has a heart for our community, and I respect him greatly. Please welcome Mike Pond.
We believe the strength of every community lies in the hands and the hearts of the people who live there. You may have heard this as part of my elevator pitch. We believe the strength of every community lies in the hands and the hearts of the people who live there. Duncan Heart and Soul is a resident-driven planning process for our community, and it's based on three powerful principles. Involve everyone. And here's what I know about people getting involved. Sometimes people won't get involved if they don't feel included, and some people won't feel included unless they get invited. Let me ask you this question. If you were here tonight because someone specifically invited you to come with them, will you please raise your hand? Listen, Build It They Will Come is a great premise for a baseball movie from 1989. It's a terrible strategy for community engagement, community development. So I encourage you to invite people. The second powerful principle is we want to focus on what matters most. Now, you know me, I believe FOR is the second most powerful three-letter word in the English language. And it's one that most people are forfeiting because it's so much easier to be known by what we're against than who we're for. Am I against some stuff? Yeah, sure, who cares? I refuse to be known by that. I want to be known by who I'm for. And I believe that the majority of us agree on probably 75 to 85% of most everything. But a lot of times, that's not what gets the press. Whether it's Positively Duncan or Duncan Sound Off Raw or just conversations in the water cooler. So I want to encourage you when we're having these conversations, we want to focus on what matters most. And then the third powerful principle, we want to play the long game. A lot of times people say, hey, Mike, I've been part of this community for a long, long time. I think maybe this community development thing is for somebody else. And then I smile and take a drink of a bottle of water and say, no, it's for you. This project is for everyone who lives, works, and plays in Duncan. It's for everyone who goes to Walmart, goes out to eat, goes to the axe throwing place, anybody who does anything here in our community. This project is for you. And I love to ask this question. It's a very simple question. You've probably been asked that yourself. Hey, what do you love most about Duncan? What do you love most about Duncan? And if we were, I'm not saying we're going to, but if we were to go through the room and have the microphone and put it in your face, you'd have some great things to say about Duncan. You're not stuck here. You've chosen to remain here, and that's different. So this whole idea of the project is to involve everyone, focus on what matters most, play the long game, and really lead the conversation into what we love most. Because I think that could really be the superpower of what unites us. I had the great opportunity to have a conversation with a gentleman named Mark, and he's the president of Community Heart and Soul. And he's going to give us a short overview of what this project is really all about on this brief video. You can watch it at any of the screens. And then as soon as that's over, you're going to see some friendly, familiar faces up here on the panel. As our panelists come forward, I want to introduce them. Please hold your applause till they get up here. We've got Alan Gates. Alan's a member of the leadership of Duncan Class 26, and this was their group project. It was a big thing to him. You guys go ahead and come on up. Also, Jay Johnson, who's an original member of the core team. He's also a member of the Duncan Area Economic Development Foundation Board and the CEO of DRH, the largest employer in Stevens County. And Robert Armstrong is our mayor here in Duncan as well. And then Chris Steele is the former president and CEO of the Duncan Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and he's also the pastor of the Duncan Rescue Mission. So Chris brings some perspectives that you guys know about in a couple of different ways. It's my honor to have a conversation with these gentlemen and to invite them to bring a couple of their perspectives of what they know about the project and how that's going to be able to move our community forward. These four gentlemen are great representations of some of what's right with Duncan, and I'm just going to ask them a couple of questions from their perspective, and they're going to help you see some of what's possible. So now, let's give it up for our band.
So, Leadership Class 26 came together and had a big vision, and we wanted to invest our time and our dollars in something that was going to last not just 1 year or two, but beyond that. And we really wanted to put something together that would shape our community and our children's community and the legacy we leave behind. And Mr. Chris Dill here in the back where we were talking shouted out Heart and Soul. We had no idea what that. He said it one time, and he just left it at that, and he was leaving it to us to figure it out from there. I was so intrigued. I went and some researched on the internet. The more I learned about it, the more it resonated with me, because our class truly has a heart for this community, and we wanted to make a difference, not just today, but beyond. And that's a big factor why we chose Heart and Soul Project.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much. Jay, the next question is for you. As a board member of Data and the CEO of the largest employer in our county, what are some of the economic benefits that you see as a result of this Duncan Heart and Soul initiative?
You know, I think Heart and Soul aligns so well with what we're trying to do within DRHL and our hospitals. Part of that is, think about it. You know, I love the theme of everyone comes, and everyone comes as they are. Because as a healthcare organization, we treat everyone in this room. And it doesn't matter what you believe, what life you come from, or who you are, we have an obligation to care for people. And to create a community that can do that even better will completely help our organization. But the lifeblood of our organization, what we do at Data, is recruitment. How do you recruit great people? How do you retain great people? So I'm really optimistic that we're going to be able to do a lot of things that can improve quality of life, things like our heritage trails and how much that's brought to our community, what kinds of additional things like that can we do that allow us to improve better. We have recently signed 2 new doctors this year. A doctor from a couple of years ago, we were in a meeting one day, and he said, "Joe, you need to talk more about the postage stamp town." And he never lived here. And it was, you know, I think we lose track of what we have and how unique and how great our community is. And he called that postage stamp town. We recruited a doctor this summer. He's going to join us this summer. She's from Montana. And how did you get a doctor out of Montana? She fell in love with it. Her kids fell in love with it. And it starts with people. I mean, we really do have a unique set of people that provide not just care at our hospital, but just care as neighbors and as individuals and taking and treating each other right. So we really stand out, and I think Heart and Soul speaks to what's important to us in the
I appreciate that. That's great. Mr. Mayor, my next question is for you. What are a couple of the ways that you see the Duncan Heart and Soul program impacting the quality of life of the citizens of our community? Jay just kind of touched on the quality of life and what that looks like. I've heard you talk about that quite a bit.
You know, I'm fortunate enough that when Amy and I travel to different places with kids and get to see a broad spectrum of what other communities in our state are doing. My hope is that out of Heart and Soul comes, at the end, a project list that not just a small group of people want, but that everybody in our town can have a consensus on. You know, we have a lot of great things here. The people is probably the best. You know, it's a small enough town that you can know everybody, but big enough to have your own circle. We get the benefit of being close to the city, but far enough away we don't have all the problems. My hope is that we get a project list out. Because if it's the idea and consensus of everybody in this room, then myself and council can put forth, with that plan, put forth a plan to fund that. You know, look at some peer towns of ours, what they're doing. Whether it be Weatherford or Ada. You know, Ada is very close in its makeup as ours. They're on the third version of what I would call rural maps. What OKC did with maps. So my dream and my hope is that heart and soul can culminate in a project that then myself and council can put on the ballot funding that. It's great and it's something to be very proud of that we have one of the lowest tax rates in communities of our size in the state. But it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes you have to find money to pay for things, right? And so my hope is to get a project for this, and that being that that comes from the citizens of the community, that will then be able to decide to reinvest in ourselves. This is not something that's going to be sending money to Ukraine in a far-off place. It's something that everybody in this room, everybody in this town will be able to benefit from, and I think it will change the trajectory of the decades.
That's right. Thank you very much. Mr. Deal, man, I got a million questions for you, but I only have one written down. One of the things that's fascinating about you, my friend, is you've got this perspective of leading the chamber for 13 years, but you also have this perspective of leading a nonprofit, and you happen to be preaching every Sunday. My question for you is, what are some of the things that you see through both of those lenses as a result of this project? Alan mentioned you're the first one to kind of throw it out there, so I'm not saying that you saw it before anybody. But my question for you is, from those two lenses, from the business world, yes, and then also from the nonprofit world, what's something that you would see that you would bring to our attention?
Well, first of all, the person that introduced me to Heart and Soul is actually Mayor Robert Armstrong. We had a conversation, and one of the most important things for a community is ABCD, was asset-based community development. And the Chamber of Commerce, in its main, if you look at the three words, advocate, connect, and grow, we're looking for programs that allow a community to become more unified, to empower itself, to see all the assets that the community has, individually and collectively, and be able to project those assets into areas, because we don't have to be the best, we don't have to be like Edna, we don't have to be like Norman, we can be the best Duncan that we can be. And from the nonprofit sector, the Chamber of Commerce, I think has 60 of the 150 nonprofits in Stevens County. They have 60 of them as members. The nonprofits play a great role because of the volunteers, the executive directors. They themselves are advocating continuously, connecting the community, and helping the community to grow, particularly in individuals that have been disenfranchised or marginalized in some way. A lot of people don't realize that we have a 19.4% poverty rate in Stevens County and Duncan. So that's pretty high. So for our perspective, coming together in nonprofits, it helps them focus scarce resources on areas of need, but also lift those people up and make them feel empowered to do something for themselves and their communities. So that's why I think Heart Soul is invaluable, is the unification of a mindset. We can agree on 80% of the things, it's the 20% that gets us in trouble. And if we could just focus on our commonalities and our love for our community and work together, there is no reason at all that our community can flourish and do all the things that the mayor and Jay and Al talk about.
That's fantastic. Listen, I think that's fantastic. I think it's whenever we were talking about this conversation, I think the good folks from Community Heart and Soul have done a fantastic job, but you don't know their name. You don't see their eyes all the time when they're at Walmart, wherever they are. And so you know that these folks are just sharing their heart with you, and I appreciate that. I do have one more question, and this is for all four of you. We'll start with Chris on this one. How do you see the potential of Duncan Heart and Soul to be able to bring our community closer together and more unified? And you might even want to zoom into the future and look at like the 2050 version of Duncan and what you see there, and let us know. Put it in your own words. How do you think this can be a unifying tool for us?
I think everyone has a story, and I think our community has a story, and each of you have a story. And I think the best way to tell a story is working together and taking pictures as those things, and like the mayor said, making your top 10 list, and all working on those together, putting one to the side, and going to two. So I see this as a way for our community, from every corner of it, coming together, working as one, in a unified voice and a unified thought process, so they can make their own future. We're searching for our future for ourselves, our grandchildren, our children, and this will give you the tools necessary to be that wonderful city on the hill, if you would like, that you all desire, the city that you would love your children to move back to, your grandchildren to come back and flourish as well.